Hello and welcome to today's Apex Trader Funding challenge. We're back to break even. We're $14 in profit. We've got to hit the $1,500 mark. Hi Christopher, thank you for joining again. Yes, very big move down. We'll notice on the pivot points that we are not very close, but we're in between the S2 and S3. So I'll pull this out. Ignore that one, that's a yearly level, but we've got the S3 and S2 here. So really quite low to kick off the trading day, particularly as we move into the Christmas period. So that Christmas rally could be a thing. Thanks for joining again, Christopher, as well. I hope the sound's okay. Just let me know if it's not. What I am hoping for today, obviously the market's moved quite a bit, but we do have an extreme gap. So the previous day's low down at 23,980 on the CFD charts. So we've got, from this point, we've got about 150 points to move, which is quite a positive movement. We've also got 300 points all the way up to the closed gap. We may only get to the pivot, who knows, it sort of might fake out, just miss that target and pull away. So what I'm hoping for is that in 2 minutes time or a minute and a half, we'll have the opportunity to just blind buy. If we start to see some really good buying coming in, which buying is represented by ask side activity at the lower end of the candle in particular. So we'll start to see the low end of the candle start to build up with ask side orders, and perhaps right at the very bottom we might see a really big limit order on the bid side. So we'll have a really big order on the bid side, followed by aggressive buying to fill up this side like we're actually seeing right now. I won't trade for another 50 seconds, but I am hoping that we will have a really strong bullish day. I know the markets, so the Oz market, basically every market has had a massive drop today, but I am hoping that that's kind of spooked the market and the real traders are about to swoop in and start buying up to fill the gap. We've got an extreme gap and the close gap. So if we can pull away down to this S3, I'll be very happy. But if we are starting to see that buying activity come in at the open in 15 seconds, I'll be getting in long. I'm actually going to change, I'll keep it at 1, but I'm going to have my finger on the trigger ready to start buying very soon, 5 seconds. We may drop first though, so I'll be watching very closely. Buy at market, I'm getting in. We could fall down still, we could come down, so just be aware of that. But that I think we're going to go up. I've just got that feeling. But sometimes when I get that feeling, the market just continues to fall. So just be ready. I am in long already, but I'm okay to take that heat. If it does go all the way down to this S3, it's 100 points away, but I can take that heat, I believe. And then I'll add to the position as I go. So that to me looks like buying. So see how we're scaling up. We're getting a bit of a false move to the south, I think. I'm hoping anyway. If we do continue to drop, then I've got more ammunition ready to continue long. Let me know what you guys think though. Perhaps other people have a different opinion. Obviously the market has moved quite aggressively to the downside. Look, I'm going to buy another contract there. I'm going to buy on my personal as well. Okay, so I've basically bought into the market. I'm hoping that this structure here will form a low. We had a bit of thin capitalization down here, and then I'm hoping that this will push through. We've really got to get through this S2 for it to confirm. But if we do get above this little structure here, I think we'll be looking very good, all the way up to perhaps the low or the close. If we start pulling away and we don't have a reaction down here at the S3, that's when I'll start to think about probably closing the position, because anything below this region, I don't know where it's going. So just got to, I guess, be ready for that. The market can always go beyond these levels. It's not a brick wall, but I will be hoping that we get a really strong reaction off this S3 if we do get down that low. We'll just have to wait and see. So watching the order flow, there's nothing in particular there that's going to turn this around just yet. This bid order 20, so that could be a buy limit, but it's not that big. So I don't think this will turn it around, but we are kind of close to the lows here too. Excuse me. So it looks like we're pushing through. That could be aggressive selling as well. So we may come down a bit further, but basically the S3 is where I'm going to start making decisions as to whether I add a couple more contracts. I've only got 2 contracts here at the moment. So if we do get a bit lower, I'll be adding. Noting that I could be wrong. So, just keep that in mind. But basically, if we can come down, hit this S3 or see it in the order flow, I'll be very happy to, there we go, 38, 39. Look, if that could be a sell limit, but look, I'm going to buy another contract here. We'll see how that plays out. So 39, that could be a sell limit. So somebody said, right, we've passed this area, we're going to continue lower, or it could be aggressive buying. So the ask side order, 39 contracts, it could be one or the other. Here we go, another big order, 27. So it could be people looking for the breakout short with massive limit orders, or it could be people saying, right, this is the bottom, I think, and they're hitting that aggressive buy. Okay, so I've got one contract I can use still. If we can get a little bit more of a pull back, I'll get in one more time. I'm sitting at $130 odd loss for now. Look, I'm going to hit the button again. So I'm in for 4 contracts long. We had that move. We've hit a Bollinger Band. I'll just quickly now take a look at the other time frames while I've got you. So we've just, on the weekly, we're just hitting that midline. So we had a reaction off that midline a few times. So 1, 2, and then 1 back here as well. We kind of came down, formed a wick, and then continued up from there. Obviously, we did break through it before that, but it's just important to have a look at what's happened before. On the monthly, it's been quite a bearish start to the month. However, we did have a really strong rally last night, as I mentioned, or yesterday, I should say. On the daily, look, it's looking like a big move down, but will we form a wick? I'm not too sure. On the 4 hour, we are well outside that lower Bollinger Band as of the S2. So, look, are we going to respect it? I'm not too sure, but I'm going to just keep an eye on it for the moment. So I'm 4 contracts long, as you can see. I could have this completely wrong, and we could just have a very bearish day for whatever reason. I don't know if you guys are aware of any news that might be sort of creating this. Has Trump said, right, we're doing tariffs or something like that? It could be the case, but we're outside that 4 hour Bollinger quite heavily. Same for the 1 hour. We're getting very close to this S3 now. We are starting to see some volume come in around this level. So can we get a little further to have a really just perfect reaction? And then we've got to hope that the market respects it and turns around as well. So, but yeah, basically outside on the Bollinger Bands. Got a long way to go for me just to get to break even actually from here by the looks. It's quite a volatile day. Yeah, a bounce is logical. I'm hoping that logic does take hold here, because often, the market should do something. Everything points to that, and then often it doesn't. So I've been on the wrong side of that many, many times. So I am hopeful, but yeah, let's hope that is the low now. So we've hit that we got quite close to the S3. we're seeing a nice rejection at the moment, but we will need a lot more buying to come in, so ask side aggressive buying, in order to move this market. Look, and that wasn't a huge stack of orders there, so who knows if this will hold, because that wasn't it wasn't massive. The bigger orders are actually up here, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So if we can break this to the upside, and we'll have some traders coming in long, that would be ideal. So we really need to get the support on the ask side now. If we can hold and push, that would be great. Otherwise, what that means is potentially somebody's here pushing this down. That's not what we want. We want the market to say, right, this is kind of the low for the big players in particular. If we do come all the way back down here, we need the ask order to really start to fill up and kind of form, I think it's like kind of like a boat shape. So I'll zoom in. So see this one here, I don't know if you can see my mouse closely enough, but this kind of big bid side order followed by ask side orders that keep getting bigger. That's the kind of activity that I want to see, because it looks to me like a ship is forming to kind of float, if that makes sense. I just try and make little analogies to help remember what things mean in the order flow, because it gets, kind of gets a bit confusing, particularly when the market's running really quickly and moving quite a lot. You've got to be able to make really quick decisions. So I'm down quite a bit, well, a couple of $100, 270. I've got room to move still though, probably about $1,000 odd, because we have moved the trailing drawdown up because we had a good start to this funding, and then had a few losses because what I did was trade against my own analysis. So I said the market was going to go down. I hit a sell order, I closed it out, and then I bought later. The market continued down. So, that's on me. It's something that I seem to do, and doing these sessions actually helps me pick up on things that I think and say, and then what I actually do in the market. So yesterday I followed the analysis that I said, and it worked out quite well. We're back to break even, and now here we are, just seeing what this market will do. So hopefully we will get a nice positive move, but at the moment the market is very bearish from a visual perspective. So basically it's just about waiting now. I've got my full contract, so because it's an Apex Trader funding account, it's a 25k challenge, as you can see down here in the cash amount. So we're just a little over break even. Okay, we've got a new candle forming. If we pull away, that's probably quite good, and then it will because it kind of fakes people out on that first move. And then what will hopefully happen is that we get a lot of ask side activity, push the market right up. We'll see if we get that. Were you able to get into your brokerage account today, Christopher? I know yesterday you were having some issues logging in and getting a proper feed. It's quite frustrating, particularly when yesterday was quite a good day to be in the market as well. So we'll see how we go today. Look, if we do break below this and it looks like there's a lot of bid side orders compared to the ask side, oh, okay, no worries. That happens to the best of us. But if we get a lot of selling below this S3 and it's really confident selling, then I'm probably going to look to exit, because what I'm going to acknowledge is that I don't know what's going on beyond this line, because that's how I trade. I always use these levels. Anything outside those levels, if it's not before the open, then I'm in kind of new territory. I don't have a gauge of how far things will move, or the volatility, or the next rejection point. The next kind of the yearly level is way down here, so it's miles away. I don't want to hold all that distance, and that's the only reference point that I've got. It was 600 points away. Looks like the market is getting some support here. Got 19 contracts. this could have been some bid side buying potentially, but it's just holding at this level. So that is a concern for me, the 31 and then the 63. It seems to be holding. So it looks like it's quite a battle. We've got 29 and then 27. So it's just about who has more money to push at this thing. So we'll just see. Another concern as well is we've got 12 contracts on the ask side up the top after thin volume. That tells me that somebody's sold up here with an ask side limit order, meaning they've sold. But then again, we've got bid side down the bottom here has built up, followed by ask side activity, which seems to be greater than bid side. So look, I'm saying sort of bid and ask quite a bit, and looking at this order flow, if you have a read of Trader Dale's order flow book, I think I've got a link in the description of this video. But basically, his order flow book is kind of where I've learnt how to read the order flow and trying to figure out and make sense of what's going on. So often, I think if you look for really major decision points, that's when it actually really counts. At the moment, we're kind of very wishy-washy with there's a lot of orders coming through and it's not super clear. Look, if this 30 is an aggressive buy, that's great. But if that's a sell limit, then this market should ultimately start dropping below. So I'm hoping that is an aggressive buyer. It also fits quite well because we actually touched the S3 and somebody's bought off that level. So that tells me that somebody on the full contract futures for the DAX is watching the same levels as we are. So let's hope they're able to maintain that position and help us go long in as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. Are you guys thinking long or short from here? Because I am clearly long from this position, but I've been wrong in the past. So and that's trading is really understanding the market and letting the ego sort of not exist. I'll just go on mute for a sec, guys. Sorry about that. The Discord chat, yeah, thanks for the reminder. I'll see if I can pull that up. So I have created a Discord chat so that people can jump in and kind of share their views and opinions and screenshots, that kind of thing. See if I can pull it up. So if you guys want to get interactive, it'd be great to see you in here. You can kind of come in here every day, and after I finish the YouTube session, we can continue talking because I do keep trading. Sometimes I do see a good position kind of open up, and then I can let you guys know in this Discord. So I'll just see. Hopefully this works. I'll pop it in the chat because often some of the best opportunities don't happen at the open, but I like trading at the open. I like doing these sessions at a set time every day, and that's part of the fun with trading the index markets. You know exactly what time you've got to be watching for the majority, I would say, of the opportunities to happen. I've dropped that Discord channel in the live chat. If you do want to jump in, say hello, let me know what you're thinking, and then I'll share my trades as well as I go through that live session. So it looks like we're starting to get a bit of traction finally. It does take a bit of time. I think that was my problem for a little while, was not waiting the market out. 65 contracts. Somebody is holding this position. If that's a buy limit, it's probably more likely a buy limit or aggressive selling. So if somebody's aggressively selling 65 contracts, I'm not sure the depth of market would even be there for that. But if that's a limit order, then somebody's buying on a limit order. So they've seen a bounce and they've put a limit order to say, right, if we've passed this structure here, then we're we're going to put a big buy order in. So I'm hoping that's the logic behind this. So they wanted to see a good break, and then they've bought 65 contracts. Otherwise, if that's aggressive selling, that's a big seller. That's going to be hard to fight. So two ways it can go, really. If we can break through, the thing that's concerning me a little is when we hit this price, it kind of falls back the other way. So it goes 67, we get a little bit further and then we pull back. So it's like somebody's holding this market back and they may not want it to recover today. So just really watching, I guess, what goes on and trying to get inside the head of whoever's trading these big lots. What are they doing? What are they thinking? What's the reason behind placing these particular orders? Look, that 67 has me a little concerned because that could be an aggressive seller just really pumping the market back the wrong way. Very thin volume here now, so maybe it's one last little soak up of little orders, hopefully, before we turn back around. Otherwise, this seller has control. We've cracked it now. There's nobody coming in to rescue it just yet. It's very thin volume. For that 65 contract up here, 67 now I think, down to the volume that we've got here, it's just a bit concerning. Is anyone short from here at all? Because you probably would have done quite well, really. but I do hope that this level will hold. There's been many times where it hasn't, and it's just obliterated the market. So got 23,800 flat kind of a number there. I don't think that really means too much at all. Got quite a bit of selling coming in through the FDAX Mini. This is looking quite grim. So we're down $400. So we're basically back to where we started yesterday. Got 16 contracts that seem to move the market up quite quickly. So hopefully, if we get a bit of buying coming in from here, we'll be able to move the market a bit easier because it's so thin. But at the moment, I think everyone's a bit spooked because we've now cracked that S3. There's no real reason for us to now turn around. So just hanging out at this point in time and hoping the market does recover. I might just quickly, while we're waiting as well, I'll have a look at the other markets. So UK, very much the same. We have now broken back below this yearly R3. So if I go onto the daily for the UK, we came up past the S3, and then we're now coming back the other way. So could be a really nice rejection off that yearly level on the FTSE. The ASX, I didn't get the levels on for that one. That's interesting. So on the US 30, we've come down and come very close to the yearly breakout long. So this could be a really good point for people to say, right, this is quite a strong level. It's a yearly breakout long to now target the previous day's low and close gap. So I'm hoping this kind of activity here, the yearly breakout almost touched, we'll get some support coming into the market from here. The Nikkei, very bearish day on the Nikkei. I didn't get the levels on today on that one either. So we're back above the S3 now, so that's positive. It always gets a little bit scary when we go past. It's kind of like cleans up any stops, any weak hands, and then see if we can get some momentum to the long side. Look, if we can get all the way up to this previous day's low, we'll be sitting very, very nicely. So yeah, really just a waiting game now. Probably won't hold you guys up too much longer because basically if we drop below this thing, these lows, I'm going to be in quite a pickle. But if we can get some good momentum to the long side, I'll be a very happy boy tomorrow, or tonight. So I might leave it with you there, guys. Christopher, thanks for joining as always. Really good to see you back. I hope these sessions are helpful. I don't know what level you guys are that are viewing. I'm not sure what kind of experience you guys have, but I do hope that these sessions kind of paint a bit of a picture for you, at least give you something to work with when it comes to using levels, order flow, and analysis. And really now it's just a waiting game and see if the market respects the analysis that I've put together. Best of luck with the session, guys. I really wish you all the best. I'll be back on tomorrow with another live session. We'll see what the market brings. All right. See you later. Have a good one.